everybody. Welcome to Enhancing Our Clients' Lives Through Entrepreneurship. I'm Amanda Hopping-Wynn, Director of the National Abandoned Infants Assistance Resource Center here at UC Berkeley. Today's webinar will be presented by Tammira Lucas. Tammira is Program Director for the AIA-funded Family 2 Matters program at Light Health and Wellness Comprehensive Services in Baltimore. She's also CEO of the Business Doctor Consulting Firm, author, speaker, philanthropist, professor. She's been featured on Forbes' Top 10 Entrepreneurial Websites for Women and Top Best Career Sites for Women, the Boss Network, and Jet Magazine. As a mom, wife, and entrepreneur, Tammira loves to help individuals jump hurdles to success while learning the art of balance, business, and babies. She has over 12 years in the business industry and has worked with businesses as small as your local corner store or online boutique to some of the best colleges and universities, helping them all to create solid, profitable business models and implement strategic marketing strategies. Before we kick off, I just wanted to remind you that you can ask questions via the chat feature in that lower left portion of your screen. We'll be pausing throughout the presentation for questions as they arise, so feel free to chat them in at any point. They will be answered in the order in which they are received. And now I'd like to turn it over to Tammira. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. I really do appreciate this opportunity to, just educate and share my perspective of how we can enhance our clients' lives through entrepreneurship. So I do appreciate it a lot. So good morning to some, good afternoon to others. I'm on the East Coast, so it's afternoon here. I'm very excited to present this webinar to you all, as it is something that is truly dear to my heart. I love everything about entrepreneurship, but I also love more of helping individuals really step into entrepreneurship and understanding that it is possible for them to do so. So I do want to start off by just giving a brief background of myself and how I actually got to this point of really having a passion to teach others about entrepreneurship. I was given the great opportunity to work with clients under the Family 2 Matters program at Light Health and Wellness. And when I first came into the actual organization, or pretty much the program, I was really charged with trying to figure out how we could address a lot of the issues that our clients experience. And one of those issues were chronic poverty. I didn't have a lot of experience in the human service field, but I actually lived, I was a living testimony to a lot of the clients that we serve. I grew up in Baltimore City. I am a daughter to a single mom, and we definitely dealt with a lot of the issues that our clients experience. So I didn't technically have the technical side of human services, but I definitely understood how to kind of overcome and navigate through those issues that we experience. When given the opportunity to work with the clients through Light Health and Wellness, it was definitely a pleasure and an honor, because I was able to really get creative with the ways that we address things. And one of the things that I found was that a lot of our clients had a lot of gifts and talents that they were hiding because they felt that they, weren't going to be able to sustain a lifestyle off of them, or they weren't good enough to actually live it and do the things that they want to really do. A lot of them do experience poverty issues and trying to understand or figure ways out to really care for their children. And through that, I was able to design a model that will help them really enhance their lives through entrepreneurship. So I do want to start off with just giving some data. I definitely am a data-driven person and have to really look at the data when it comes to chronic poverty and to either address the issue that we are having. And what I found was that, in the United States, being in poverty has definitely now started to be defined as having income below, well, I mean, this is something that's always been this way, but having income below a federally determined poverty threshold. And in non-metropolitan households, the income level was $41,000. So if you look at the jobs that are being offered to those that may not even have high school diplomas, we know that they are well below a $41,000 a year position. And in the metro areas, the median household income, it slightly rose to a little above, or we can say $53,000 if we, kind of round that up. I also found that in 2014, the poverty line was $12,316 for an individual under 65 years of age, and $11,354 for those 65 years and older. Now, I mean, that is really a small amount to live in any community, anywhere. The poverty line for a 3-person family with 1 child and 2 adults in 2014 was $19,000. And for a family with 2 adults and 3 children, the poverty line was $28,000. So this now becomes a problem of deep poverty, which is really defined as having a cash income below half of one's poverty threshold. So about $1,000 a month for a family of 4. So that's 6.8% of the U.S. population really experienced deep poverty in 2014. And, this is just some other statistics around poverty by family composition, things that I just went over. And when we look at the poverty statistics by race, we're looking at non-metropolitan blacks and African Americans having the highest incidence of poverty in 2014, which is 36.9%. So, that's a pretty, and the community that we are serving at Light Health and Wellness are all African American, mainly African American clients. So this statistic here is something that I definitely want to see change really quickly, in the future. And this is why I really created this model to help individuals understand that they can create their own income, they can dictate their own income and increase their level and change the statistics. And this is just additional statistics that I also found by poverty rates by family type again. So you can look and see that mainly female head of household children with no spouse present has the highest percentage of poverty level. So I want to pose a question before we get into entrepreneurship and ask you all, do you think entrepreneurship can be one of the solutions for chronic poverty? So we had 62% of individuals on this call that say they do think, 58% that says they do think that chronic poverty can be one of the solutions for, entrepreneurship can be one of the solutions for chronic poverty. And I asked that question because a lot of people look at entrepreneurship as not being the answer. But what I found was just working with the individuals in our organizations is that it definitely can be one of the solutions. I know there are a lot of different solutions when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to chronic poverty, but one of the things that we can do while we're trying to really navigate through the other issues that our clients are experiencing is getting their mind into entrepreneurship. So I posed the question to myself of why entrepreneurship. And what I found with working with clients in light and outside of light is that, one, entrepreneurship, short term, it really increases their confidence level. You'll see once a person actually feel that they can do something more that they are actually passionate about, they'll become more confident about what it is that they can do in life, period. It also enhances their relationship building techniques. One of the things we know in entrepreneurship, in order to be successful, you have to learn how to build relationships. And teaching them how to do that really enhances the way that they kind of communicate overall outside of their household and within their household, and building strong relationships. And it encourages their creativity short term. We know that innovation is really important when it comes to entrepreneurship. So, having them understand that, it helps them to become creative. It helps them to think outside of the box of things that they see every single day. Entrepreneurship is all about answering a problem, especially when it comes to their community issues. I experience a lot of clients that want to be the solution to the problem through their business with entrepreneurship in their community. So it really encourages them to be creative and to help them learn how to, again, think outside of the box. Now, long term, it increases their income. We know that if they're able to really create and sustain a business model, that of course their income is going to increase. But not only are their income going to increase within themselves, but if they have children or other family members that are living in the household with them, it will also inspire them to do things that they are passionate about. And maybe if it's not even entrepreneurship, really getting out to experience other things that they can do to increase their income. So it really helps the overall household increase their income, and it provides long-term stability for them. Research really shows that it enhances the overall quality of life for individuals that are able to create businesses. Now, I do want to stop right here and ask, do you all have any questions?
At this point, we don't have any chatted in questions.
Okay, awesome. So small business is big. Now, I pulled a lot of statistics off of the SBA website, which is a great website to get updated information about small businesses. What a lot of people may not know is that 28 million small businesses in America account for 54% of the U.S. sales. Small businesses provide 55% of all jobs and 66% of all net new jobs since the 1970s. So small businesses, we know, definitely drives the economy. Another statistic is 52% that I really like is 52% of all small businesses are home-based businesses. So I like to share these statistics with my clients so that they can understand that there is it's a great opportunity out there when they're starting the small businesses, and it really helps improve the economy overall. So when you are, one of the things that we have to do when we're working with the type of clients that we're working with is explaining the bigger picture of entrepreneurship to them. A lot of times, and I'll get to this further actually at the next slide, of creating that mindset of entrepreneurship. But you want them to really start embracing the bigger picture of entrepreneurship and not the instant gratification of entrepreneurship. So if they're thinking for longevity and not thinking for tomorrow, which is definitely a hurdle with the type of clients that we all may be working with, but really showing them the possibilities long term. So helping them understand that they'll begin to have the freedom to spend their time doing what it is that's important to them and doing things that they are truly passionate about, that they will wake up every day and be happy about the things that they are doing. Also, letting them know that entrepreneurship long-term really enhances them to have unlimited earning possibilities. As an entrepreneur and starting your own business, you really dictate what your earnings are going to be if you are really committed to starting and sustaining that business. It also gives them location independence. And if they're anything like me and wanting to live in Florida where the weather is nice and warm, or maybe California, they're able to choose that on where they're going to live and where they're going to go. And then it also helps really teaching them that they have a chance to leave a lasting legacy. And we talk about legacy a lot, and what does that mean to them, and what do they want to leave as their legacy. That's a big exercise that we do with the clients, because they need to really understand that, what do you want to leave? And all of our clients are parents or caring for a child in some form or way. And I know that may not be the case for everyone, but when you're looking at your family legacy and the things that you want people to remember you as, this is a great way to do that and explore those things when you're thinking of entrepreneurship.
And Tammira, I think you'll touch on this a little bit later, but we've had a few questions come in from folks who are curious about what are the most successful small home businesses, or where's the best place for folks to start with a small home business?
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get to this, but one of the things we found to be very successful for small business to begin is we had clients that successfully started their own hair salon, things like that, or getting into the hair industry and starting their own income that way, and also sewing. That was a huge thing for us at Lighthouse and Wellness, is our sewing entrepreneurs that love to do that and create that business for them and becoming a seamstress. So we saw a lot of those type of businesses actually started within our clientele. Outside of that, I see a lot of boutique type of businesses that are started, and that clients really like to start. They are into fashion, they're into things like that, and they're embracing those type of things. But we'll definitely talk about all of the opportunities with starting the business. So I'll get into starting about the client mindset, but also talking about how you actually navigate getting them to navigate to starting the business, and then getting them to actually get funding for that business. So I'll talk about that. A great question. Thank you. So when we introduce the whole entrepreneurship piece to the clients, these are the things that we get. I'm broke. I'm doing this all by myself. I will never live my dream life. I'm not good enough. Simply, they can't do it. They feel that other people should provide for them. And then you have those that say they want to change their current situation. They don't have the support or resources needed. They want to show their kids better, but they don't have the education to really better their finances, and their economy is bad, or their kids distract them. And I also want to say something about a credit score, and that is a huge issue that they experience as well, that I should have added to this slide. That is an issue that they have to overcome. They have poor credit. So how do we really initiate the client mindset shift with all of these hurdles that they have to deal with? It's definitely a struggle, but it's not impossible to show them. And it's not going to be something that they're going to be able to do in 30 days or they're going to be able to do in 60 days, but it's something that they're going to definitely be able to work with over a certain amount of time. So the overall goal is to really start getting them to think differently about their lifestyle and how they can really enhance their lifestyle through entrepreneurship. There's going to be a lot of steps to this. If you're dealing with a client that has a low credit score, well, first we have to address the financial issues that they may have, and I completely understand that. So that we'll talk about, ways that you all can do that. So initiating the client mindset shift, that's very important. You can't address any of these things or really jump into entrepreneurship if your mind is not in the right place. So these are 4 things that I have all of my clients do before we even jump into the business portion of becoming an entrepreneur. I have them create affirmations, because what's going to happen is that if they're not constantly reminding themselves that they're great, or they can do these things, or do the things that they want to do, then what you'll find is that they'll give up really quickly, because they're not getting the instant gratification that they feel they should get because they've started this process. So we create affirmations, and we have them practice saying those things to themselves every single day. So when those hurdles do come, because we're all human, we're all going to get overwhelmed at some point, and we're going to have those times where we are really ready to give up. Everyone has those times. But when you create these affirmations that remind you of how great you are and what it is that you're working towards, it really starts to train your mindset to think more positively and not negative. We work on vision boards. But I have them actually create 2 different types of vision boards. When they identify what their business is, I have them create a vision board specifically for their business, but then I have them create a vision board for their overall life. And we know that those 2 are going to intertwine with one another. But if you can't visualize things for your actual personal life, then you're not really going to be able to work towards those things for your business. So I have them create those 2 things so that we can see how we're going to work together to achieve both their personal issues or their personal vision for their lives, and then how we're going to accomplish walking into a business. And what I want to say is, not all of your clients are going to want to step into entrepreneurship. That's fine. But those that do, you want to embrace that. Those that have those qualities that we're going to talk about later, you want to embrace those things. The other thing that we do, and this is always a struggle. It was a struggle for me to do it, so it's definitely a struggle. And I challenge everyone that's on this webinar to do this for yourself, is to create a 101 goal list. And you want to create a 101 goal list of things that you want to accomplish in life, period. It doesn't have to be directly related to business. It could be anything that you want to actually achieve. And I have them create these things because what happens is, a lot of times the things that they want to achieve will definitely depend on their income level. You know, some people want to travel the world, or some people just want to do something simple as get their GED. So when they have those things written down, we can work towards, creating a plan, period, on how you're going to achieve those things. And when you put all of this together, you'll realize that you've achieved more you will achieve more in a short period of time, because you're working towards long-term goals. So, again, I really challenge everyone to work on your 101 goal list yourself and see how your mind actually change when you see those things, and post them where you see them every single day. And that's another thing with the vision board and the affirmations, is that we make sure, we encourage them to put these things where they're going to see it every single day. I personally have all of these things posted everywhere, whether it's on my phone or in my house, but I want to see these things every day, again, so that I can continue to maintain the positive outlook on life and the positive thinking. Also, creating SMART goals. Your goal list and your SMART goals are totally different. When you're looking at achieving one goal, you want to make sure that goal is SMART. So you want to look at it where it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and you can achieve it in a timely manner. And I had them create that one goal that they want to achieve in 30 days, and we really work towards making that goal SMART. So name the specific goal. What is the goal? How will you measure this goal? When will you know that over time you're still working towards this goal and you're going to achieve this goal? And is this goal really something attainable? You know, you may have a client and say, well, I want to achieve a 730 credit score, and currently they have a 530, and they want to do this within 30 days. Well, I don't think that's really attainable or realistic, but this can be a goal that we can work towards within the 90 days or 6 months or something like that. And then you want to make sure that the goal is timely, so you want to give a time frame to the goal. That way you're holding them accountable to the goals that they actually have to achieve. And my clients love and hate me at the same time for this, because I am holding them accountable based off of the SMART goals that we set for them. I wanted to stop to see if you have any questions.
The main questions that are coming in are about getting financed and how to get that rolling.
Yep.
But I know you'll get that.
We will talk about that. Good questions. So I know some of you all may wonder, well, how do we even get them to identify that they have gifts and talents? And that's something that is definitely a struggle, to get people to understand that they do have gifts and talents, because what you will get is that they don't believe that they have these things. There were clients that I definitely saw more in them than they saw in themselves. So I had to really get them to understand that they had these gifts and they had these talents that they can actually capitalize off of and create a business out of it. So you want to determine their needs. What is their current financial situation? What are their household expenses? And what are their goals and aspirations? When you are able to determine their needs, then they'll see, well, you have these needs, so how are you actually going to work towards identifying ways to really address your needs? So then you want to determine their strengths and weaknesses. What do they see as their strengths, and what do they see as their weaknesses? And then you want to ask them, you want to give them, what do you see their strengths and weaknesses is? And this may be a battle back and forth, but it's good to get their outlook on what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and then you identify those things for them as well. And then you want to determine what they are good or what they're great at. What are some things that they like to do? What makes them happy? And if they could have their dream job, what would it be? And the whole goal is to take these things and really kind of create what it is that they're actually talented at and what their gifts are, and how they can put that into a whole business. So with all of that, being said, you really want to help them find their entrepreneurial skills. I know that at least your clients are going to have at least one of these skills that they may not have ever identified as being entrepreneurial skills. They are one of 7 of these is inside of everyone. And a great tool that you can use, that I really like to use, is the Gallup Strength Finder, and they also have the Entrepreneur Strength Finder. And these will tell you which one, based off of their responses to the questions, which one that they actually fall in. But a great way, or something great to do, is really to ask them, what do they feel? Where do they feel like they actually feel in? So which one of these entrepreneurial skills they feel like they have? Are they resilient? Are they focused? Are they risk takers? Do they see themselves as a leader? Do they see themselves more sales-oriented or a learner or self-reliant? They have one of these entrepreneurial skills in them, but you have to pretty much, help them define their gifts and talents and putting them inside of these entrepreneurial skills. And also looking at their story. So we have clients that have amazing stories that have been able to overcome a lot of hurdles and don't realize that they are resilient, that they are risk takers, that they are great learners, and they are self-reliant. But they don't understand how to take that story. So you have them write their story. Have them look at their journey and see where they were 3 years ago or a year ago or 6 months into where they are now, and help them understand how that story really comes into one of these 7 entrepreneurial skills. So then you want to match their skills to entrepreneurship. Their skills plus passion plus problem really equals the birth of a great business idea. I do want to answer, I know I got a little distracted, but I do want to answer your question. There are online too. The Entrepreneur, I'll go back. The Gallup Strength Finders and Entrepreneurial Strength Finder are all online. so they can actually do that questionnaire online. So 3 questions that all clients want to know, and you all had these same questions is, where do I start? Can I really do this? And how will I fund this? And I want to let you know I have answers to all of these questions. So the first thing is you want to start with a plan. One of the things that I like to do is create a mind map. So once they've identified, really what their business is, what they're passionate about, and how they're actually going to create a business off of it, you want to help them. You can do these 3 things. You can create a mind map. A great tool for mind map is called Mind, M-I-N-D, MUP.com. And that really helps them create a mind map of anything. So you can create a mind map for their lifestyle, and you can create a mind map for their overall business plan, because, again, those things are going to intertwine with one another. Then you also want to start, when you're starting with the plan, is to actually determine the problem and the need that they're actually going to be solving, or they're going to be solving with their business. And then you can work with them to create a business plan. Score.com has great business plan templates, but also the SBA has a great business plan template as well. And a lot of times your clients will probably feel very intimidated by creating a business plan. We all know that they have different skill levels when it comes to writing and when it comes to different things. But honestly, you can create a simple business plan template that I'll make sure Amanda has that I actually have to send out, that's very easy for anyone to use, just so that they can get their idea out and to ensure that they have a problem and they're solving a problem. Because there are going to be a lot of kinks in the way. And this is just really the beginning of introducing the whole entrepreneurship industry to the client. Yes, I can definitely send that. And the Mind website is Mind, MIDMUP.com.
And you know what? We send out an email to folks after the webinar anyway. So, Tammira, if you just want to provide me with the links and the business plan template, I can make sure that everybody has that in their email, so you don't have to worry about, furiously taking notes if you're listening on the call now. That'll come in an email later today.
Absolutely. And again, you'll have any of the templates and things that I have to help them work towards it, towards starting their business. And a list of resources also. So you also, when creating their plan, again, it's going to be intimidating. So you want to really help them understand the possibilities. Show them success stories. Again, I talk about affirmations. Create those affirmations with them again, and they can be very specific to their business. You can create personal affirmations for the things that you're getting over in life, but what about those things when you're getting those daunting things that you have to deal with when creating a business? And then provide them with the necessary tools and resources. A lot of times, a simple Google search will go a long way with various resources, especially with resources within your state that can help individuals really start businesses and things that they're going to actually be able to take advantage of. And we'll talk about the funding opportunities on the next page. And also just showing them your consistency in being caring. So, yes, we cannot, care more. We can technically care more than they care, but we have to help them understand that we do care, and we are going to be consistent, and we are going to be persistent with helping them and guiding them along the way. So I know we talked about how can they fund this. That's the big question a lot of people have. And it's a valid question to ask, because starting a business is not cheap. It's not now there are ways that you can start businesses with very low, depending on what the business is, you can definitely start a business with little to no money. But a lot of times if you're talking big businesses, big or small businesses like storefronts and things like that, they're trying to figure out how they're going to fund this. Yes, we're going to address the issue, and I'll talk about the other economic issues that they may have in the next slide. But some funding opportunities is crowdfunding. There are tons of crowdfunding opportunities for them to take advantage of in starting the crowdfunding for them. You have the famous GoFundMe, but there are also other crowdfunding websites that they can take advantage of to help them start a business. What you will definitely be surprised is that there are a lot of local grant opportunities for them to start businesses and fund their businesses. Yes, we know we definitely have to address the issue with their finances and their credit score, but just letting them know that these possibilities are out there and budgeting to start a business. This will be like pulling a tooth with no Novocaine. How am I going to budget to start a business when I cannot effectively budget my living expenses? But guess what? There's a way. You sit down and you do a personal budget with them. You really have partners come in. We partner with PNC Bank for financial literacy courses that are free. So those are great ways to get partnerships with financial institutions that are willing to invest in your clients. A lot of banks definitely have small businesses opportunities within their branches that will actually help your clients get to a certain level and actually provide funding for them. So, you build a relationship with the financial institution and let them know that you're introducing, your clients to entrepreneurship and, what resources do they have. Again, like I said, we have a great partnership with PNC Bank and Light Health and Wellness that it gives us the opportunity to give them not just the adult but the children financial literacy. Because again, we're not just introducing entrepreneurship to the adult. This is a great way to introduce entrepreneurship to children as well, and letting them know that it's not. They don't have to wait until they're grown to start businesses. My daughter is 5 and she has her own business. So she actually has been in business since she was 2. She didn't really know it, but I introduced those things to her at a very young age, and now she's really hyped about starting other businesses. So this is not something that can just be done with the adult clients, but also the children that you work with as well. And then helping them understand the power of partnership. Business is all about building relationships and partnerships. And when you teach them how to build effective partnerships with people that may, you may not have the money, but you have the idea. So this is how you can partner with someone to really help your idea become that business. This is how partnerships can be very powerful and how you can actually get funding for your businesses. So looking at overall, what do you need to start this business? Who do you need to start this business? And these are things that you want to work with them with to make that business idea realistic. And again, it'll be, a back and forth thing because they definitely had the great idea in their head, but it's, you helping them and guiding them with the resources that I'll definitely make sure you have to help them really create this overall business model for them. Do you want to stop and answer some questions?
So you mentioned local grant opportunities. Do you have any suggestions on how to access those or find out about them in particular communities?
So you want to absolutely. So one is the SBA. Every state has an SBA office. You also want to look at the Chamber of Commerce departments that are in your state and in your city. In your city, simply looking at, for us, BaltimoreCity.gov, they will show you the small business grants and things that are out there, and also on our state website, the things that are out there as well. Most cities and most states have a small business like economic department, something that's in your city government that's there to help guide them. And another big one that I know that we specifically have here is Maryland. Let me make sure I get it correctly. But we have a women business center that helps women get into businesses. So they're out there, again, just learning, Googling the opportunities and just saying what are some grant opportunities in this state that you can find. And again, on the SBA.gov website, it will also tell you what the where the SBA office is in your city or state.
So when you're saying SBA, that's Small Business Association?
Yes, the Small Business Administration. I'm sorry.
Administration, okay. So most families that live at or below the poverty line obviously receive some form of public assistance, and the smallest shift in their income can decrease what they receive and or make them ineligible for public assistance. So I guess the question is, this can be both a fear and a reality for clients. So in the short term, how should they address reporting additional income, especially if it's not to the point where they can live off of what they're making?
Well, I think and that's a great question. In the first 5 years of business, it's definitely going to be an investment year. So mainly, and it's really teaching them how to reinvest their money. So they're not going to technically look at that as a profit if they're reinvesting their money back into that business. So, helping them understand, and that's why finances is a huge piece to this, and having someone that can come in and teach them about business financing and reinvesting their money into their business and teaching them the long-term view of that. So, yes, they will. Some may make a profit within the first or second year, but how do you take that profit and reinvest it back into your business so that overall within after the 5-year mark, you don't have to worry about being on public assistance anymore, because now you're able to really sustain in business because you've reinvested your money and it's going to grow.
Does the Entrepreneurial Strength Finder that you mentioned provide suggestions on business that could start based on interests, hobbies, gifts, and talents, or does it just provide a list of strengths and transferable skill sets?
It actually does suggest businesses that they can start based on the results that they get, and you'll see that it's a really cool tool to use, and it'll tell them a lot about themselves that they may not necessarily ever have known about themselves. I really like the Strength Finder set period. Either whether it's the Strength Finder leadership or entrepreneurial one, it'll give you a whole lot of information.
Oh, great. How do you really get a person connected in a business when there are limitations of skills, such as a fashion designer who can't sew but has excellent fashion sense?
So, and you figure out what it is that they want to do in the actual fashion industry. So if it is that you want to sew, provide those sewing courses for them. If you have a group of, find sewing courses for them that they can actually take. A lot of the community colleges will provide, do provide those type of courses. Here in Maryland, I'm not sure how many people are here in Maryland, but we have the Community College of Baltimore County. They provide so many different skill class courses for individuals that want to learn how to do different things, whether it's sewing, painting, cooking. I mean, they have a book that's really thick of these courses that they can take. For what I did was, for those that wanted to get into the fashion industry, I created a group specifically around sewing and had someone teach them the basics of sewing. And they really enjoyed that, because not only did it enhance their skills on what it was that they were trying to do in the entrepreneurial field, but it gave them the entrepreneurial skill set to understand that you're going to always have to learn something when you're in business, whether you're going to be the expert in whatever field it is. I mean, whatever it is, like I learned accounting, but I'm not in accounting, but I need to know, accounting in my business so that I can understand what my accountant is saying to me. So it really gave them the understanding that regardless of what you want to do and what business you want to start, you should always be learning. So that's one way how we embrace those that may not have necessarily had the skill set for that specific industry that they wanted to get in. We provided groups around those skill sets. And what you'll find is that person is not the only person that's interested in it. So now you're creating a group of people that can hold each other accountable to achieve similar goals.
And before we go on to additional questions, I think the next slide is a natural fit here, if you want to just keep going there, and then we can get to the formal Q&A.
Okay. So teaching entrepreneurship in your organization. So you want to create a series of business-related workshops. Again, financial literacy is always the biggest. So you want to create workshops that are around financial literacy, around public speaking. That's something that we definitely encountered to be a huge hurdle for our clients is public speaking skills. So you have someone come in and teach them public speaking, teach them business building, teach them business law, and teach them business mindset. Having experts within these categories will definitely help provide them with the necessary education and skills, and they come with resources. A lot of times, in your organization, like I said, if you're building these relationships with different financial institutions, then they'll see that, you are doing something not only to help your clients, but it's actually going to help the economy overall. So they're going to be willing to partner with you and to help your clients help themselves as it, directly relates to entrepreneurship or starting small businesses. And even if your clients don't start the actual business, you have laid the foundation for them to actually embrace entrepreneurship and look at business in a total different way. So, I don't want you all to think that every person that you get to go through, give this information to, that they're just going to come out and be, award-winning entrepreneurs. That may not be the case, but what it is providing them is a step further in life to say, you've been introduced to these things, and I know that you can do it. So you have the tools, you have the resources. Now it's up to you to make it happen with my support. And I actually, just to talk a little bit more about the workshops that we created, I really enjoyed creating a series of workshops around these different topics because, again, they got to see individuals that what were in their shoes and see their success over time. So I strategically picked the people that actually come in and speak to them because it really do help them help them see the possibilities that are out there. Now I'm ready for Q&A.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe the model in terms of length of support, length of the agency support of an individual from initial contact to successful business running and kind of the intensity of the support that you provide? So how many times per week are you doing small groups versus individual sessions, things like that? What's the commitment on the agency part?
The way that we, when I originally started the whole model is that we started monthly. We did first, let's work on the mindset. And we met probably twice a month on the mindset. Well, each model, each section that we went through, it was at least twice a month. And it was for pretty much about 6 months to really go through the whole series of things. And you have to take into consideration other things like weather and things happen. But we worked on the mindset first. And then we worked on, exploring entrepreneurship opportunities, and then actually going into the business and talking more about the business, or then going into financial literacy and how you can actually manage your finances. And then we also had to throw in some different trauma-related issues that we had to deal with in order for them to overcome the things that are going on in their life concurrently while they're going through these workshops. So we had to throw those trauma-informed things in to address those issues as well. So, the workshops definitely extended between 6 and 8 months from the success of individuals actually exploring and getting out there to start their business.
That makes sense. I love that you incorporated the trauma-informed piece because I would imagine that can be a huge barrier for some.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I answered, the small groups. I definitely did small groups, but we also did individual follow-up. So you may have those that are more committed than others, or those that are really ready to hit the ground running more, and they're going to, call you and, want to come in. And I was absolutely fine with that because now I'm embracing, what it is that they are passionate about.
When you're working with clients who are, living in chronic poverty and generational poverty, how can you encourage them to take whatever profit they make and reinvest it in their business as opposed to spending down, bills or things like that?
So again, before you are actually taking them and having them launch their business, what you want to do is really get clear about that financial literacy piece. So you want to address those bills issues prior to them even starting the business so that once they get to the point where they are actually making profits in their business, they are thinking about how they're going to make their business grow bigger and bigger. Yes, things happen, completely understand. But the only, you just have to keep encouraging them that investing in their business is going to be a much better long-term impact than just spending it on something that they probably don't need at this point. And working with PNC Bank for us has definitely been very instrumental to this process because they have a great way of breaking down, budgeting and finances and things that way so that when they get to the point of actually starting their business, they've already pretty much addressed those issues.
Sense. Was there a particular intervention that you used for the trauma-informed piece?
Now, that depends on the issues that our clients have. So we definitely did, for our interventions, we will work with our art therapists to kind of figure out the things that are going on in their life. So she actually had different activities that she did with them to address those trauma-informed issues that they are dealing with. Those trauma issues that they're dealing with, and provided that art therapy training to teach them how to overcome those things without reacting to those things. So being proactive than reactive. And that's what we kind of worked on because we understand in business that there's going to be a lot of hurdles personally and professionally that are going to happen. So how do you cope with those things when it happens? Or how are you coping with these things now? Are you going to allow them to break you down, or are you going to allow them to build you up? So, we definitely had our art therapists kind of work with our clients on addressing those issues before and after or while they are actually happening.
That makes a lot of sense. Do loans for small businesses affect the eligibility for cash assistance?
That's a great question, and I'm actually not sure of the answer of that question, but I will find it and make sure that that's on a resource list when I send it out. So, Amanda, if you can save that question for me.
Sure, absolutely. And then, do you see any special challenges for those in the poverty cycle as opposed to those who aren't in poverty and have more access to things like crowdsourcing and basic technology and training?
So those were the issues. A lot of our clients that I work with within like health and wellness is that some of them don't understand technology. So we have to address those issues too. So I have to have someone. So in between these different workshops, we have to have many workshops on teaching them how to use a computer, or teaching them how to write properly, and teaching them, different skills that they may not have necessarily had, but really, showing them it's okay. It's okay that you don't understand these things or you don't know how to do these things, but we're going to teach you how to do those things. So we definitely ran into those hurdles. It's just a matter about addressing them and figuring out how you can best address them. Because I guarantee you that it's not just going to be one client that does not understand how to do something, or don't have the skills to do something like run technology, or those type of things. It's going to be more than one person. So now you can create a whole workshop around that.
And then the last question that I see coming in, somebody just wanted you to speak a bit more about slide 15, if you don't mind.
Not a problem. So matching the skills to the entrepreneurship. So what we did here was, we looked at the skills that they have based off of their entrepreneur skills that you'll find within the Gallup Strength Finders Entrepreneur Strength Finder, and what they are actually passionate about. And then taking those things and looking at a problem that they can solve. So one of the things that when it came to fashion design was that there aren't a lot of places in Baltimore where people can get affordable clothing that are custom, custom affordable clothes. And that is true. So that was the problem. And we birthed a business idea out of that. So matching their skills, using the formula of skills plus passion plus problem equals the birth of a business idea.
And, of course, we had a few more come in while you were reviewing that. So if somebody lives in a rural community, any suggestions about transportation to public libraries to use computers, or other organizations who could offer help? Folks are a little bit more spread out.
That's a great question. One of the things that I think a great strategy would to be, and I'm not sure how accessible your organization is, but seeing how you can provide those things to them when they are, face to face. There are things that you can print out for them, because most of the things actually happen on the internet these days. So seeing how you can get those things, or seeing if there are any programs that out there, if they don't have a computer, how can you find a program that's able to provide them with a computer? And if not, one of the things that I always challenge people with is create your own opportunity for them to do that. If you're not able to do that, there is definitely a way that you can create it for them, and be, don't live the status quo and say, okay, well, we don't have this available. But if you see this need, let's create a way that we're going to create a pipeline of people needing access to computers, or can we find a way to get someone to barter or donate their transportation services to ensure that our clients are able to get to a library, or, those type of things. And that's one of the things that I definitely love to do with Light Health and Wellness and in the Baltimore community, is creating those opportunities for them. There are a lot of our clients that don't have computers, so that we are accessible to them. So one of the things that we do is allow them to come in and utilize computers in our organization. However, if that wasn't the case and we weren't accessible, one of the things that I would try to do is figure out who I can get to sponsor us some computers. And, a lot of times it's a matter of asking and showing them what the outcome would be of these people having these computers and things like that. So that was a great question.
And I think this is the last one that we'll have time for, but do the clients in your program have grant funding so that they can attend these workshops to build the needed skills? It's difficult to do this intensive training while trying to hold down an hourly job, which may not allow for scheduling in advance to attend workshops.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, and that's why it's important for you to build relationships with various organizations, or, like I said, we have a partnership with like PNC Bank, and then we partner with other nonprofit organizations that provide different services and things like that. So that's a great way for you to start building a partnership within your organization and connecting your services with other people's services. And that was a great focus that we had through our consortium meetings, is building a consortium of partners that can really provide services to our clients and bridging the gap of services. And when we say services, we're not just looking at all of the health services, but what about the other services as far as entrepreneurship and things like that? So I would definitely suggest, being able to connect with other organizations within your state or within your community to see what it is that they are providing. We have an organization that has a culinary arts program, so we can recommend and refer our clients to that program if they're interested in becoming a chef.
Well, Tammira, thank you. My goodness, everybody was so engaged. This was wonderful. If folks come up with questions after they get off this webinar, is it okay for them to contact you directly about that?
Absolutely. Feel free to contact me. If you are on social media, you can follow me on social media. You can also look at the great things that Light Health and Wellness is doing, and you can go to that website, which is www.lighthealth.org, and just, make sure I'm pretty okay with anyone reaching out to me and getting any type of guidance or assistance on how to incorporate these things within their organization. Amanda, I do want to thank you for having me. This has definitely been an awesome time, and I hope that everyone was definitely able to take some great information away to implement in their program.
Thank you. And, as far as participants go, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's call. If you were as enamored with it as Tammira and I both were, we greatly value and seriously consider the feedback that everybody participating in these webinars has. So the link for a brief online evaluation form will appear shortly. Take a few minutes now and just let us know what you thought. It'll automatically be sent back to us. For those of you who are interested, our first webinar in our 2016 series on innovative interventions to support families living in poverty is on executive function and self-regulation in context, the role of stress and poverty, and opportunities for intervention. Quite the mouthful, but that will be on February 25th. You can find more information about that series on our website, aia.berkeley.edu. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.